Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to this new video. I'm going to continue with a series that I created previously called AI for the Average Human. And this time we are going to be talking about prompts. A prompt is the way that you interact with the AI solution that you're working with. For instance, in this case, I am working with ChatGPT. And as you can see, I entered a prompt that says, show me a list of recent job posts for prompt engineers. That went through its database, through its knowledge, and then it produced the list. Now, it may be that these positions are not accurate right now. Probably they're all position most likely. So if I hover over one of them, it says June 2nd. That's pretty good, but it may be that some of them are older because it may have some issues going out there and getting new positions or learning about the new positions. But what I want to talk about is that prompt engineering is a career now, which is excellent. So if you're interested in learning more about AI, probably that's going to be one of the fields that you would like to explore. That's not to say that you don't have to have a technical background. You may or may not, depending on what type of prompt engineering you're going to be working or doing, I should say. But let's talk about it because prompt engineering is more than asking a simple question. For instance, this question that I asked here, it was a very simple question, and the system interpreted this question that I just typed and gave me a possible answer. Now, what a prompt engineer is going to do is that it's going to help the LLM provide the most relevant or accurate response to the question that we are trying to ask. So behind this prompt, there may be a solutions of prompt. I'm not going to say right now a solutions of prompt engineering, but probably a prompt like this was customized, was curated, if I can use that word, in a much better and elegant way that is going to be able to provide this type of answer by understanding what I'm trying to ask. So think about it as a child that is learning the language, right? When a child is growing, is learning new words, is learning how to put sentences together, how to put things together to present an idea. That child may not be able to participate in some type of debates or competitions because the child does not have the language power to be able to produce that task. But when the child asks for something, the parent is going to be able to understand, oh, you're trying to say this, you're trying to say that. And the more the child learns, the better he or she is going to get to that point where they're going to be able to express freely and confidently the ideas that they have. So that is an illustration of what a prompt engineer is going to do. Prompt engineers are going to improve how the LLM interacts with prompts that we ask to provide a much better answer, an answer that is going to be more relevant to what's happening in any given situations. So there are many companies, and I just did this, right? And I just wanted to show you this. There are many companies that are looking for prompt engineers to help them um, improve the LLM's responses, not because the LLMs need training, because it is a gray area. We're not going to say that the prompt engineers are going to train the LLMs, but because the LLMs already are trained with all the data that they have, but they're going to help the LLM produce a more accurate answer for any simple prompt that somebody is asking. So when it comes to prompt engineering or when it comes to prompts in AI, you would like to be as specific as possible if you can, so that you can get the most relevant answer to the questions that you are looking for. These right here are simple jobs that I found. As you could see, I just went to Indeed, and there are many positions looking for engineers from many companies, I should say. And the salaries are pretty good, actually. If you're not making that, but if you're not, it's pretty good. It's a good career. Now, again, not all prompt engineers need to have a PhD. I mean, for some positions, it's very clear that they require you to have a PhD or a master's. And you don't have to be a subject matter expert when it comes to prompt in that field for prompt engineering, but you do have to know that specific topic, right? So a prompt engineer is somebody who has a combination of perhaps knowledge, experience of that subject, and is good when it comes to details and asking questions and following up with questions. And that's something that's going to help the LLM learn more about producing the right responses, or more relevant responses, I should say, to the prompts. So a prompt engineer designs and tests prompts, fine tunes instructions, and this is the key word right here: fine tunes instructions to guide the AI behavior's tone and format. I don't know how much you interact with these AI solutions, but you can ask them to create a response based on a friendly tone, on a harsh tone, professional tone, casual tone, so on and so forth. So there is a job of the prompt engineers to help get to that point and build reusable prompt templates that can be used in the future by chatbots or LLMs to provide different type of responses. Let's think about it as, let's say that we have a marketing team that would like to create ad fasters, right? A prompt engineer is going to be a somebody that's going to be useful when it comes to it. Or maybe a law firm that would like to summarize the documents, whatever documents that working with. A prompt engineer is going to be able to fine tune the LLM into providing more relevant answers when it comes to using the data that they already have. So, when it comes to skills, again, you don't need to be a PhD, but some organizations may ask for that. What is strong language and communication skills. Uh, in this case, in the English language, if you are working with an organization that is using data in other languages, you have to also have the strong language and communication skills in that language. Analytical skills, definitely understanding AI models' behavior. That's not something necessarily when it comes to deep learning, but you need to have a good understanding of how models interpret the inputs that they're provided. And depending on the positions that you may be applying for, you may have to be familiar with APIs, tools, and perhaps some Pythons and JSONs for that. Now, I at the beginning I had a difficult time understanding this because I was thinking, you know what? Why would a company need a prompt engineer if I can say now, for instance, in ChatGPT, this is already built in. And what I'm trying to say is that ChatGPT is already a matured product compared to all new other technologies that are emerging. We can say that. Obviously, ChatGPT keeps on improving. The same thing with Gemini, Claude, Perplexity, and all of them. But you have to think that a lot of the companies looking for prompt engineers is not necessarily to train ChatGPT as you see it now for me asking random questions. It's because they have an LLM, it could be ChatGPT, Claude, or Gemini, or anything else that is already trained with large data sets that may be proprietary to that specific company. For instance, as I mentioned before, a marketing company or a law firm or even the government. And it's the job of the prompt engineer help. the design of that organization to provide relevant answers to any possible questions. So there's still room for that. It's a field that keeps growing and growing, and it's something that everybody can explore, right? Yeah, right in this age. And as you could see, the salaries are pretty good. Obviously, it all depends on your background that you have and what they're looking for. So let me expand on this because I don't know if I made the right, if I can make it better. For instance, we can ask questions such as a simple prompt. Let's call it a simple prompt could be something like write a blog post about AI in law, for instance, right? And this is a random, vague prompt that when we send that over, the system is just gonna, use this and trying to understand what I'm trying to say. And based on the information that it has, it's gonna try to come up with the best possible answer. But I can also say, um, write a let's see, 700 word blog post, right, for an audience explaining how AI can improve the law offices reports or whatever you want to do, right? And you can be more specific. We can say things such as focus on 5 real world use cases and include pros and cons and whatever else you want to be specific about it. And that's going to have more information to provide customized responses to what you have. Now, you have to remember something, and in this case, the LLM is accessing something that we are not seeing, right? In this case, the LLM is accessing a brain. If I can say that, it's not a brain, of course, it's accessing that to provide that answer. So, depending on how we present the prompt, depending on how we customize it, we may get a different answer than any other prompt because it's going to be created specifically to what we are asking and what we intend based on the data and the training that it already has. So you have to be very detailed and specific to get the best possible result in this case. And you can also be more specific. You can specify what type of fonts do you want, what type of colors do you want this, so on and so forth. You can specify this to create it into a Word format so it can be downloaded, or you can specify it to create a PDF. So the sky is the limit when it comes to creativity. So when you interact with AI solutions such as ChatGPT, be creative. Don't limit yourself to what you already know, or to what you think that things should be like. Be open and explore and explore. And the more you do it, the better you are gonna get at this. Now, that's not to say that if you master prompt for personal use, that you are already a prompt engineer to work in another company. That's not to say that, but that's going to give you an idea of how things work, and it's going to give you some tools that you can use to build on that. So I just wanted to present this as a possible career opportunity for those that follow this channel. I know this channel is about cybersecurity tools, and I do cybersecurity day in and day out. But as I mentioned in another video, we cannot deny the impact that AI has. And if this is something that you don't embrace now, you're going to be left behind. Just think about it. Think about what happened to cloud computing, right? I remember when cloud computer came up, not too many people understood cloud computing, not too many people understood the future impact that it was going to have. But now cloud computing has transformed everything that we do. Well, this is a more impactful technology. AI, even if you are a doctor, even if you are a network system engineer, security engineer, pen tester, you need to become more familiar with AI, how it works, and how you can use it to maximize the job functions that you do. So if you made it up until this point, thank you for listening. I really appreciate that. Thank you for watching this video. If you found this information useful, all I ask you to do is to click on the like button, consider subscribing to the channel, and if you have any questions about prompt engineering, about possible jobs in prompt engineering and what else can you do to get better, let me know in the comment sections and I'll help you if I have the answers. Thanks for watching and I'll talk to you on the next video.